And here's your guide, Eric Holmquist.
Howdy, folks.
Eric, why don't you show us the flat tire in the back of Newt?
Flat as a rock.
Any further comments?
Pretty blue sky today.
Good evening, America. Tonight, in an unprecedented special event, we will have a debate, public discussion with former President Gerald Ford and former Vice President Dan Quayle. Many representatives of the press were invited to this event in historic Dennisport, but 2 showed up, due to it being a debate between 2 Republicans. The 2 members of the press are Thomas Schmendrick from Little Rock Tribune and also, due to public interest being limited to a class of history nerds, the original 2000 occupancy speech hall, rented out by Nabi Production, was recanted, and the inside of a car will be used. The format will go as Cory, I can't read your writing. Be chosen to ask a question to one of the participants. Ensuing this question, the recipient shall have 1 minute to respond to them. The other speaker will have 30 seconds to give their view on the subject at hand. After the questions have been asked, each speaker will have 1 minute for final speeches. Gentlemen, good luck. The first question, picked in secret at an earlier date, was chosen to be directed at Mr. Ford. Mr. Schmendrick, the honor is yours.
Why did our schools need federal aid? School construction? We have too many schools in America now, I believe.
Bum? No,
what do we need?
Lines.
Well, how am I supposed to know? Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Now, Mr. Ford, what is your reasoning for opposing federal aid to education, including funds for school construction, emergency school aid, increased appropriations for higher education?
We already had too many schools in America, and we still have too many now. And we are an educational powerhouse. When people think smart kids, they think the United States of America. Thank you.
Yes, I agree with Mr. Ford. I came from those schools, and I'm a perfect example of a powerful U.S. school system. I believe in a strong, firm educational foundation for our American youth. That's the only way America will excel in this technological world.
Sure, Mr. Crow, that your law school grades were so underwhelming. They weren't allowed to be published.
Wow, that may be true, Mr. Quayle.
Hello?
That might be true, but I consider myself as a modern JFK.
In circumstances, the meeting has now been moved to the Schneibel living room, and what a great place it is. Okay, our next question. Okay, Mr. Quayle, your time is up. Right. The next question will be directed to you, Mr. Schmendrick, our lone representative from the press.
Don't you consider it an oxymoron that you are a self-titled hawk on military policy issues, considering you had your wealthy parents tuck you away in a nice safe spot on the Indiana National Guard?
No, not really. Listen, I'm not a moron. I'm an ex-vice president. No, I'm a conservative Republican who bears an incredible resemblance to Robert Redford. I liken myself a modern day JFK.
Answer.
I'm a major advocate.
Like Dan Quayle could be in the vice presidency, avoiding war like that. I served my country. I know war. I was in it.
Cut! But the only reason you stepped into office was because of the 25th Amendment.
Point.
Here are the final speeches. Mr. Quayle will go first.
I'm well educated. Level-headed man. Sure, I opposed some civil rights legislation. Opposed abortion rights and the judicial ban on prayer in school. But I'm young, handsome. I appeal to the female voters. And I'm a loving family man. Kind of like John Fitzgerald, Ken.
Okay, that's enough from you, Mr. Quill. Now me, my first priority, the first thing I'd like to tell you is I hold family values very high.
Get out of here, kid.
In 1959, I won the Sports Illustrated Silver Anniversary All-American Award. I advocated civil rights in the 1960s. I'm as honest as they come. Turn it off, turn it
I
off.
think you believe in family values, but it isn't. Wait, what's that?
Isn't it true?
But it isn't true that you are only the third president to many divorced woman.
Yes, and isn't it true that you voted against the Voting Act rights of 1965?
And isn't it true, Mr. Ford, that Gerald Rudolph Ford isn't your real name at all?
Yes, yes, that's all true. But you tell me this, Mr. Quail. And their silver anniversary issue named Leslie. I still have them snuffed out. They're tucked underneath my pillow and they're done.